What's up, y'all? Let's play. Some stuff dropped, so I think we need to play with them the way they try to play with us. You know what I'm saying? Let's go.
Red's not supposed to be green, like faith's not supposed to be seen. The sky's not supposed to touch the ground. And a square's not supposed to be round. The moon's not supposed to touch the sun. And a 2 is not supposed to be a 1. And the heart's not supposed to weigh a ton. And forever's not supposed to be done. Winter's not supposed to come in June. And I am not supposed to have the blues. There are so many things that are not supposed to be, babe, except you and me. There are so many things that I'm not supposed to be. Ooh, baby, yeah, except you and me. Night's not supposed to be long. Yeah. No one is supposed to be alone. Understanding is not supposed to be confused. And the wind is not supposed to lose. Like fire's not supposed to freeze. Or like joy is not supposed to grieve. Like you are not supposed to leave. When I said I'm not supposed to lean. He is not supposed to have your heart. Baby, we are not supposed to be apart. There are so many things that are not supposed to be said. You and me. There are so many things that are not supposed to be. Hey, baby, it seems just like no seasons changing, or this earth with no creation, or a heart with no feelings, or a sickness.
Yo, Kelly, with you? What?
ACT, did you see this?
Look, if it ain't official DanaJay, Levi for Kelly, or Prima Donna News, I don't even want to see it. Just take the ball. Look, you got some weed? Dang. I gotta get some. All right, hurry up. Diesel and them here, everybody here, we waiting on you. All right.
I know that there's more. More for you, more for us.
DJ discretion.
Low still sick, I ain't talking that pandemic.
DJ discretion.
Low still sick, I ain't talking that pandemic.
DJ discretion.
Low still sick, I ain't talking that pandemic.
Say, Atlanta, what you gon' do? I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't be scared. Just level up. Don't be
from the Chi-Town dirt. But you know, I see some people hating on me. You know, you got the girl Tears over there crying. She mad. That's why you gay. That's why you gay. She is mad. Tears. Ain't no need to be mad, but I get it. They had to come at me today because of the distraction. They didn't want something to come out. But guess what? I'm so much of an observer. I sift through stuff. I see the drama. I might entertain it, but then I can get back with some serious stuff. So I'm going to say, I understand Tears being mad, but until you explain how you was creeping with Larry, a.k.a. Thank You, Ty, and until your homie Ty, once again, that put out there that Bolingbrook dude and Hot Rod and T-Baby had a threesome over a chair. Hey, you can't get out of this one, Tears. If you slept with the man, you slept with the man. Like I said, you got his wife Cash App running across your chat, but your homegirl Ty putting y'all business out there. You better watch people like that. With friends like that, you don't need no enemies. I'm just trying to tell you. So don't get mad at me. And Tune, you up on the channel talking trash. It's not my fault you up here chasing internet pussy. You got mad because Randa got pregnant. Goddamn. Okay. Okay. I just had to put it out there real quick. I'm reloaded. Oh, and for all y'all fake R. Kelly wannabe non-fans, Tory Lanez put y'all out there. And it went a little something like this. Come on, Tory.
Ready? Let's go.
Oh, the fuck up! You niggas be acting real different on the internet. Hey! It calls for a time like this. Let me run some shit out like, let's go! Let's go, baby!
Wait.
Ready? Let's go.
Oh, the fuck up! You niggas be acting real different on the internet.
That's the point that I'm making. Y'all out here talking mad trash, but Ty, you trying to dog me in her chat. But on the phone, you don't act like that. So I get it. Y'all acting real funny on the internet. Atmos ass. Kels T. Oh no, I ain't talk to you. I ain't talk to you. I can't put you in that. But Ty, Fat Mose ass. Robert Sneller. Y'all acting real funny on this internet. But on the phone, y'all don't act like that. I get it. Y'all mad because Dana don't take no calls no more. I get it. But hey, I ain't bring y'all here for that. This is what I brought y'all here for. Let's go! 195. United States of America versus Robert Sylvester Kelly, also known as R. Kelly. Whoa, wait a minute. You see how they playing with his name again? Now they got him as a corporation again. Robert Sylvester Kelly, also known as R. Kelly. And you see they got R. Kelly as a person. How do you do that houseway? But Robert Sylvester Kelly, also known as R. Kelly, Daryl McDavid, and Milton Brown, also known as June Brown. Let's go. Defending Kelly's motion for production of investigative materials developed in connection with DOJ FBI investigation of a BOP officer who stole defendant's confidential prison records, communications, including privileged attorney-client communication. Let's go, Bonjean, and tell him how you really feel. Now comes Robert S. Kelly, defendant by and through his counsel, Jennifer Bonjean, respectfully moves this court for an order commanding the United States Attorney's Office to produce materials prepared in connection with the government's alleged investigation into Bureau of Prisons, BOP, officers who accused and stole defendants' confidential prison records and communications, including attorney-client communications. Wait a minute, let's stop right there. I told y'all Robert is not writing anything because of this. So now we know that Glenda and all of them is in connection with this. So now, since they've been getting communication from Robert, I say Jennifer Bonjean. I got the names. I got the names. I got the names. I got the names. Okay, big dog. I got the names of this. So now we know that is a prison officer that's been hitting up Glenda, Dubowski, and everybody else. Let's go. We on a roll. Who accused and stole defendants' confidential prison records and communication, including attorney-client communications. Communications that were subsequently sold to a blogger who provided that material to unknown numbers of government witnesses. Defendant has a good faith basis to believe that the stolen information was also provided to the government and to a government informant, who may have shared said information with government witnesses at the behest of the government. Since such information developed during this investigation might constitute impeachment evidence, the government should produce it pursuant to Brady versus Merlin. Yes, sir, aka Brady material and its progeny. Okay, let's go. Number one, while defendant was detained in the Chicago MCC between July the 15th, 2019 through January the 8th, 2020, access logs showed that 60 BOP employees accused defendant confidential records. One such BOP employee accessed defendant records 153 times, even though that employee was not assigned to the MCC. Here you go. Chicago Times, and they got the links. Chicago Times joint. Employee leaked R. Kelly info to blogger. Okay, Chicago Times. Yes! And here go another one right here, the Hotmail story. Okay, number two. Hold on. Please stop texting me right now. 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 Information from those records, including defendant's visitation list and email communications. Including attorney-client communications, were provided to a YouTube blogger named Tasha K. On information and belief, Tasha K shared those stolen communications with government witnesses and with an alleged government informant who was under federal indictment at the time the information was stolen. Oh my God. Oh my God. The United States Attorney's Office commenced an investigation into the incident that resulted in defendants' communications being stolen and shared with untold individuals. Apparently, the U.S. Attorney's Office sought a search warrant for the computer used by the BOP employee, United States versus HP desktop computer, 20 MC 148. The application and affidavit in search of the search warrant has been sealed and is not available for public view. Defendant has never seen the search warrant application and supporting affidavit. The investigation does not seem to have resulted in any arrest, even though it seems straightforward that at least one BOP officer engaged in official misconduct by accessing unauthorized records and selling those records with third parties. Defendant has learned that his email communications, including communication with his attorneys and third parties, were shared with potential government's witnesses, either in this case or the EDNY prosecution. Such information was shared with government employees by the government or its agents for the purpose of influencing testimony, and or third-party government informant use the information to influence government testimony. Such evidence would constitute exculpatory material to which the defendant is entitled. 9. Defendant was afforded the opportunity to discover facts that may be used to discredit government witnesses and or show bias and motive on the part of government witnesses. It is also highly suspicious that no indictment resulted from this clear act of official misconduct amongst other federal crimes. 11. Defendant is entitled to discover who was interviewed as part of the investigation, what information was stolen, whether it included attorney-client phone calls or communications, and whether such information was shared with prosecutors, their agents, or government witnesses. Wherefore, defendant seeks an order from this court commanding the U.S. Attorney's Office to produce the information. Respectfully submitted, Ms. Jennifer Bonjean. Hold on. We ain't finished. We just on the roll. Let's go. Let's go. United States of America versus Robert Sylvester Kelly, also known as R. Kelly, Daryl McDavid, and Milton June Brown, also known as June Brown. Let's go. Defendant Kelly's motion to sever his trial from co-defendant McDavid's and further to sever counts 10 through 13 from the remainder of the indictment. Now comes defendant Robert S. Kelly by and through his counsel Jennifer Bonjean, Jenny from the block, also moves this court to sever his trial from that of his co-defendant Daryl McDavid, where a serious risk exists that a joint trial will compromise the rights of either or both defendants, or prevent a jury from making a reliable judgment about guilt or innocence as to counts 5 through 8 of the indictment. Defendant moves to sever on the grounds that one of McDavid's attorneys, Vadim Glazman, is laboring under a potential conflict of interest that may prejudice defendant at trial. Okay. Separately, defendant chose to sever counts 10 through 13 of the indictment from the remaining counts, where defendant will suffer substantial prejudice if those counts are tried with the remaining counts in the indictment. Motion to sever trial from McDavid's trial. Defendant Kelly and McDavid are charged with conspiracy to knowingly alter, destroy, mutilate, conceal, cover up, falsify. It's supposed to be falsified, but it's falsity, and make a false entry in any record, document, and tangible object with the intent to impede, obstruct, and influence the investigation of proper administration of any matter within the jurisdiction of the United States in violation of 18 U.S.C. 1519, the obstruction of justice count. 2. The government identifies a number of overt acts in furtherance of this conspiracy, including but not limited to Kelly caused a base productions Bass Productions Ltd. check signed by McDavid to be issued to minor one's father in the amount of $30,000. Kelly and McDavid caused a wire to be made from Bass Productions Ltd. bank account to pay to individual B to settle lawsuit that individual B had filed for payment for recovering and returning videotapes that depicted Kelly engaged in sexual contact with minor one that had been stolen from him by individual D. Now watch, we just heard that Robert didn't agree to pay anybody anything. So, Kelly caused a wire transfer in the amount of $80,000 to be paid to McDavid through his firm, Winkler and McDavid Ltd. In September 2014, Kelly caused the RSK Enterprise LLC check to be issued to minor one in the amount of $1,150 in October of 2014. And 5, Kelly caused a wire payment in the amount of $100,000 to be made from RSK Enterprises LLC to agent of McDavid on McDavid's behalf. Separately, defendant Kelly and McDavid are charged with conspiring to receive child pornography, namely Video 2, Video 3, and Video 4, Count 6, and the completed offenses of receiving child pornography, Count 7 and 8. Because many of the overt acts identified by the government involve McDavid's conduct and not defendants, defense as to counts 5 through 8 will turn, at least in part, on whether he possessed knowledge about certain acts that McDavid took. Although McDavid has declined to discuss his defense with undersigned counsel, it seems obvious that defendant and McDavid defenses are necessarily antagonistic. Indeed, several of the overt acts that the government contends were committed in furtherance of a conspiracy are evidence of McDavid stealing from defendant, which he did for over a decade, not conspiring to obstruct justice. 5. Federal Rule of Criminal Procedure 8B provides that an indictment may charge 2 or more defendants if they are alleged to have participated in the same act or transaction, or in the same series of act or transaction, or in the same series of acts or transactions constituting an offense or offenses. Fed R. Crim P 8B. The rule further provides that the defendants may be charged in one or more counts together or separated, and that all defendants need not be charged in each count. 6. Defendant does not allege that the defendants were improperly joined, but argues that severance is justified pursuant to Rule 14A, which provides that if the joinder of offenses or defendants appear to prejudice a defendant or the government, the court may order separate trials of counts, sever the defendant's trials, or provide any other relief that justice requires. Fed R. Crim P 14A. 7. The court should grant severance to properly join defendants only if there is a serious risk that a joint trial will compromise a specific trial right of one of the defendants or prevent a jury from making a reliable judgment about guilt or innocence. Zafiro versus United States, 506 U.S. 534, 539, 1993. 8. A serious risk is present. The Supreme Court has explained if 1. Highly prejudicial evidence that is probative of the defendant's guilt is admitted solely against a co-defendant. 2. Many defendants are tried together in a complicated case where the defendants have markedly different degrees of culpability. Or 3. Essential exculpatory evidence for one defendant would be admissible in a solo trial but unavailable in a joint trial. ID at 540. 9. Defendant and McDavid have mutually antagonistic defenses, such that the acceptance of one defendant's defense will preclude acquittal of the other defendant. United States versus Carello, 435 F3D 767 778, 7th Circuit, 2006. Furthermore, because Kelly has every intention of presenting evidence that McDavid embezzled and defrauded Kelly, along with a host of other employees, McDavid's right not to be tried on crimes other than those charged in the indictment may be compromised. This evidence constitutes essential exculpatory evidence for the defendant, but may not be available to him at a joint trial if McDavid moves to bar it. Furthermore, there has been no assurances that McDavid will not be used as witness against defendant in connection with the other charged offenses if he takes the stand. Ain't that's what I told y'all from the jump, that Daryl McDavid is a government witness. In fact, it seems likely that the government will attempt to use McDavid as its witness if he takes the stand to present evidence against defendant as to other counts of the indictment. This might also be true as to co-defendant Brown, since several of the government's witnesses seem to suggest that Brown was involved in facilitating defendant's sexual exploitation of minors, a claim that defendant denies. It is well known and supported by both witness testimony and financial records that defendant was largely ignorant of his finances and relied entirely on his surrogates, including McDavid, to make decisions about how monies were paid and who monies were paid to. It is also well known that Kelly is functionally illiterate and relied entirely on third parties to run almost every aspect of his life that related to businesses and legal matters. Stop. So how was R. Kelly writing people on Mother's Day? I'm going to wait for some seconds. How was R. Kelly writing people on Mother's Day? It is also well known that Kelly is functionally illiterate. Hold on, I just asked for people to stop texting me. I don't know who this is. It is also well known that Kelly is functionally illiterate and relied entirely on third parties to run almost every aspect of his life that related to businesses and legal matters. Kelly did not monitor his business accounts and did not write checks from his accounts unless directed to do so by McDavid. Indeed, McDavid created business accounts and secured credit cards that Kelly did not even know existed. Kelly rarely, if ever, used credit cards or debit cards. Wow. And would make purchases in cash that was provided to him by McDavid. 13. Until McDavid left Kelly's employment. He controlled Kelly's finances in every aspect. McDavid used Kelly business accounts as a personal piggy bank. 14. McDavid routinely wired and wrote checks to himself and his own company, Winkler and McDavid, from Kelly's business accounts without Kelly's knowledge. McDavid paid his personal credit cards from Kelly's business accounts and used his company credit card and American Express Centurion card, aka Black Card, for personal travel and personal expenses. McDavid induced Kelly to pay him hundreds of thousands of dollars on the false promise that the money would be invested in a popular Chicago restaurant. Oh, it's all coming out now. McDavid embezzled the money instead, using it to invest himself in the restaurant while cutting defendant out. McDavid knew defendant was powerless to expose this criminal conduct due to his intellectual and educational limitations. McDavid contends the payment The payments made to him by defendant in 2014 and 2015 were wholly unrelated to any alleged conspiracy. Kelly agrees on this point. Rather, Kelly contends that McDavid sued Kelly for breach of contract, a contract Kelly was tricked and manipulated into signing by McDavid. Defendant denies that he carried out any overt acts in furtherance of any conspiracy, and that to the extent of the government shows that any monies flowed to third parties from his accounts, it was largely without his knowledge and carried out by McDavid. Kelly will also show that McDavid had a strong interest in ensuring that Kelly, his workhorse, kept performing so that his personal piggy bank remained full. 18. Let me see. Hold on, wait a minute. Okay, I ain't get there yet. Hold on. Okay. I gotta look at where I was just at. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. Read that part. I'm just going. Read that. Read that. Read that. Read this again. Read that. Okay, here it is. 18. My bad, but I skipped it. Defendant does not merely intend to engage in blame shifting. He fully intends to show that McDavid had an independent interest in ensuring that defendant continued to work uninterrupted by bad press because McDavid supported his own lavish lifestyle, stealing from Kelly. 19. Equally problematic, one of McDavid's lawyers, Vadim Glazman, may have a potential conflict of interest that would sever to prejudice Kelly at a joint trial. According to the government's indictment, Kelly and McDavid, along with individual A, conspired inter alia to obstruct justice in connection with the Cook County State's Attorney's Office prosecution of defendant in 2008 relating to defendant's alleged creation of child pornography involving minor one. According to the government, Kelly, McDavid, and individual A, a private investigator used by Kelly's prior attorney, Ed Jensen, agreed to collect videotapes that alleged depicted Kelly having sexual contact with minor one. 22. According to the government, individual A, who worked with Kelly's legal team, allegedly agreed to pay money to victims and witnesses and others to ensure that they did not cooperate with law enforcement. Individual A also allegedly arranged for individual B to be paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for obtaining and returning videotapes that depicted Kelly having sexual contact with a minor. According to investigative reports, the conspiracies charged in counts 5 and 6 of the indictment occurred in part in the law offices of Ed Jensen, and that the completed crime of receiving child pornography as alleged in counts 7 and 8 of the indictment took place in Jensen's office. Represented by Ed Jensen, Kelly was acquitted on all child pornography charges on June 13, 2008. For at least the next 10 years, probably much longer, Jensen and Kelly maintained an attorney-client relationship. Indeed, in a Sun-Times report published shortly before Jensen's death, Jensen publicly claimed, "I kept him out of trouble for 10 years. Jensen stated that he vetted Kelly's records. He stated, "I listened to them. Which ones would make a judge mad?" Let me see. They took it down. Y'all see they took it down. Okay. Let's see about this one. Let's see. Let's see. Yep, they took it down. They took it down. Jensen further claimed that he kept Kelly out of trouble because he convinced Kelly to take medication to suppress his sexual urges. Whoa. In the years following Kelly's acquittal, Kelly and Jensen maintained an attorney-client relationship. Also, during that time, Vadim Glosman, McDavid's attorney, worked for Jensen as an associate. Uh-oh, he got to go. An attorney-client relationship between Kelly and Jensen was imputed to Glosman, who was Jensen's associate. Yep, conflict of interest. According to Glosman's LinkedIn page, he worked as an associate for Jensen between February 2012 and September 2018. Glosman states on his website that he began his legal career working hand in hand with Edwin Jensen, the Dean of Chicago Criminal Defense. Ed Jensen taught Mr. Glosman his in-depth knowledge of trial procedure and how to craft a defense focused on the specific dynamics of the jury and judges involved. Oh, sadly, prior to his death, Jensen engaged in egregious violations of the rules of professional responsibility, announcing to the world privileged communications with Mr. Kelly and betraying his duty of loyalty to Kelly in a bizarre interview with the Sun-Times. Much like the government's indifference to investigating a BOP officer's egregious conduct of stealing and selling Kelly's email communications. The ARDC did not seem to have any appetite for addressing an outrageous ethical violation of the storied Chicago defense attorney, Ed Jensen, who, if alive, would have much to explain about his own conduct in connection with counts 5 through 8 of this indictment. HTTPS, Chicago Times. R. Kelly was guilty as hell. Singer's prominent lawyer from first trial says, hold on, let me see if I can get that. They took it down. See how the government play? They don't want you backtracking nothing. Based on the foregoing, any privileged information conveyed by Kelly to his prior attorney, Ed Jensen, was also received by Jensen's associate, Mr. Glosman, either actually or constructively. Because Glosman arguably owes a duty of loyalty to Kelly because he was a member of the firm that represented Kelly, he is in a conflicted position. This potential conflict may be an actual conflict if Glosman possesses privileged information that he may or can use to benefit of this client or to the detriment of Mr. Kelly at a joint trial. B, motion to sever counts 10 through 13. In addition to the child pornography counts involving minor 1, conspiracy to obstruct justice related to minor 1, the receiving child pornography counts also related to minor 1, and 1 count of sexual exploitation of minor 1. Kelly is charged with 4 additional counts of child exploitation related to minors 3 through 6, charged in counts 10 through 13 of the indictment. 32. Counts 10 through 13, which do not involve minor one, should be severed from the remainder of the indictment because Kelly will suffer substantial prejudice if those counts are tried with the remaining counts in the indictment. 33. Fed R of Crim Pro 8 allows for joinder of counts where offenses are of the same or similar character or are based on the same act or transaction or are connected with or constitute parts of a common scheme or plan. However, Rule 14th, relief of prejudicial joiner, provides for severance in cases of substantial prejudice. See United States versus Werner, 2nd District Circuit, 1980, 620 F2D 922-928. Rule 14 states: A, relief if the joinder of offenses or defendants in an indictment and information or in consolidation for trial appears to prejudice a defendant or the government, the court may order separate trials of counts, sever the defendant's trials, or provide any other relief that justice requires. 34. 34. Courts have recognized that substantial prejudice results from joining charges that are supported by relatively strong evidence with charges supported by much weaker evidence. Hold on. By much weaker evidence. United States versus Alvarado, 1994, U.S. District, Lexus 17062-12. CEG, United States versus Fultz, 540 F2D 733-738, 4th Circuit, 1976, where difference in the strength of two cases was great. We cannot presume that the jury adhered to limiting instructions and properly segregate the evidence into separate intellectual boxes. Citation omitted. United States versus Raganetti, 527 F2D F86, 9th Circuit, 1975, reversing trial court's determination that severance was not required where there was strong evidence of one robbery and weak evidence of another. Gregory versus United States, 125 U.S. AP DC 140 369 F2D 185 189 DC Circuit 1966, similar, certified, denied, 396 U.S. 865 24 LED 2D 11990 SCT 143 1969. 35. In this case, counts 1 through 3 of the indictment are allegedly supported by video recorded evidence, while counts 10 through 13 are not. Where's the 100 devices? There's another Oko lie. In this case, counts 1 through 3 of the indictment are allegedly. That means she haven't seen none as of yet. Indictments are allegedly supported by video recorded evidence, while counts 10 through 13 are not. Things that make you go, Assuming the integrity of that video evidence, which is only an assumption for the purposes of this motion, such evidence would be significantly stronger than 25-year-old testimony evidence of questionable veracity. It is simply undeniable that the government's evidence as to counts 1 through 3 of the indictment is dramatically stronger than is its evidence as to counts 10 through 13 of the indictment. Similarly, substantial prejudice can result where a defendant has important testimony to give on one case and a strong need to refrain from testifying on the other. Cross versus United States, 335 F 2D 987 DC Circuit 1964. United States versus Archer, 843 F2D 1019 1022 7th Circuit 1988. Baker versus United States, 401 FT F2D 958 977 DC Circuit 1968. United States versus Eli 910 F2D 455 457 7th Circuit 1990 37. And Baker, the DC Circuit observed prejudice may develop when an accused wishes to testify on one but not the other of two joint offenses, which are clearly distinct in time, place, and evidence. His decision whether to testify will reflect a balancing of several factors with respect to each count. The evidence against him, the availability of defense evidence other than his testimony, the plausibility and substantiality of his testimony, the possible effects of a demeanor, impeachment, and cross-examination. But if the two charges are joined for trial, it is not possible for him to weigh these factors separately as to each count. If he testifies on one count, he runs the risk that any adverse effects will influence the jury's consideration of the other count. Thus, he bears the risk on both counts, although he may benefit on only one. Moreover, a defendant's silence on one count would be damaging in the face of his express denial of the other. Thus, he may be coerced into testifying on the count upon which he wished to remain silent. It is not necessary to decide whether this invades his constitutional right to remain silent, since we think it constitutes prejudice within the meaning of Rule 14, Baker versus United States, 401 F2D 958 976 DC Circuit 1968. See also Archer 843 F2D at 1022, recognizing that sometimes circumstances can coerce a defendant into testifying on a count upon which he wishes to remain silent. 38. In light of the foregoing, this court should sever counts 10 through 13 of the indictment, where defendant has critically testimony to offer in defense as to those counts, but may seek to maintain his Fifth Amendment rights in connection with counts 1 through 3 of the indictment, for which there is substantially more evidence. Indeed, this is precisely the scenario that justifies severance, because defendant has important testimony to give concerning counts 10 through 13 and a need to refrain from testifying as to counts 1 through 3. Severance is particularly justified here, where the only similarity between counts 10 through 13 and the remaining counts of the indictment are that they are of the same or similar character. United States versus Coleman, 22 F3D 126 134 7th Circuit 1994, overruled on other grounds. 40. Counts 10 through 13 are of similar character to the counts involving minor 1, but they involve different victims, different acts, and largely different evidence. But because of the similar nature to the counts involving minor 1, the risk of prejudice is acute. 41. It is inevitable that if the jury concludes that defendant is guilty of counts 1 through 3, for which there are arguably stronger evidence, it will not bother to consider whether the government satisfied its burden in connection with counts 10 through 13. counts that each carry a maximum sentence of life imprisonment. Because of the serious risk of prejudice to defendant, this court should grant severance of counts 10 through 13. Conclusion. For the foregoing reasons, defendant respectfully asks this court to sever his trial from co-defendant McDavid's trial, and further to sever counts 10 through 13 from the remainder of the indictment. Respectfully submitted, Jennifer Bonjean. So I'm going to ask this question. What do y'all think about that? Yeah. Yeah. Now, you know, she hit on the head. She said allegedly. Allegedly. Good night, Mocha. Allegedly. So therefore, there is no testimony that say Rashonda Landfair has testified. Because if that was the case, don't you think Miss Bonjean would have said something about that? Let's make it make sense. Don't you think Miss Bonjean would have said something about Miss Landfair? Make it make sense. Facts, Derek. Everything we've been talking about over here is coming out. Facts. That's why I say they are the stupid ones over there. Let Slow Cove be dumb. We pushing forward. Hell with them and their thoughts. I got a question. If Rashonda Landfair is testifying, it should be a slam dunk case for the government. But when you see stuff like that, and you see the word allegedly to tapes, it raises question marks. Are there really tapes there? The government said they have them. Where they at? Don't forget, everything have to go through a forensic scientist. Everything I've been saying from day one. Take a look at it. If everybody would have been donating and left Robert's defense team alone, Robert would have had the adequate funds to take care of forensic scientists, of specialists. But you seen people that had the disdain and people that had the hate for me, that they sought out to destroy Robert's defense fund. Now look, I told y'all Robert is not in control of no core links. Now they came out in the motion that his stuff was compromised and stolen. So I got a question. This is where I will have fun with the dirty prize. Hey, Uncle Kel supporters, here's where I destroy the dirty prize. If y'all are in communications with Robert, right? If Robert is writing y'all, right? Then how was Hollywood Next able to be added to her core links without her accepting the re-admitting? Second thing, pay attention to all the people who said they got email correspondence from Robert. All of y'all got some, right? But none of Robert's real close friends got anything? Make it make sense. Everybody who said they got a letter from Robert is close with Sean and his wife. Make that make sense. I know a person who Robert was writing on the regular, haven't received anything since court. He called me like, yo, did you? I said, nah, I ain't received a letter or no email. He said, yeah, because his court links is dry. But then you hear Dottie and them come out. Oh, we got a letter from Robert on Mother's Day. Well, wait. This is why I say, wait a minute. Check it out. This is his niece. He never accepted me on call links. This is his niece. This is why I say be careful. Because on Mother's Day, Robert was in the shoe. Because Robert was depressed that he was behind bars on Mother's Day. And he wanted to go, I guess, I take it, he wanted to go to the graveyard to visit his mom. It carried over into the next day. Everybody that know me, everybody that talk to me, know I said I'm going to play it off. But Robert is hurting. Robert didn't come out the shoe until Monday morning about 10:30 a.m. Now, we look at the motion, and the motion clearly states that Robert, and I'm paraphrasing, not word for word, I'm paraphrasing, that Robert email has been hijacked. But because he don't care about it, he don't press the issue. What up, Mishi? So, you got to ask yourself, and this is what's pissing me off. You say you come in to help Robert, but you jump to any bear and brick that you think you can get over on somebody. And it's not just the people who was thrown in. I'm sad to say, it's some of the people that I opened the door for to meet Robert. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. And now, here we go. He really was depressed on Mother's Day, DJ. Facts. So now we got to figure out if Robert was depressed on Mother's Day and if he was in a shoe. When you're in a shoe, you don't have any type of accessibility to no computers. Now, some folks say, oh, he had somebody write that. Well, answer this question. Mother's Day was just what, last week? When did the subway bombing happen? About 3 weeks ago? They coming out with stories saying that Robert Kelly and the subway bomber are roommates or cellmates. So either his cellmate that was writing for him, for the Indian guy, either died or went home or got shipped to another facility, and the subway bomber became his roommate, or it's all a lie. One thing I do know, unless it's caught, they ain't shipping to facilities right now. Because allegedly, New York COVID spikes started going back up. So make it make sense. Where did the Indian guy go? As Biggie say, it was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazines. I'm just saying. Now, everything that you hear me saying or heard me saying before, now Miss Bonjean came out and said it. So I got a question. This is where I turn to the camera and say, where is the lie? I heard somebody say, oh, he just mad that he ain't getting nothing on Mother's Day. If Robert would have emailed me or wrote me anything on Mother's Day, I would have questioned it all. Because I know that's the day that he shuts down. But only people that know Robert knows that. Robert will shut down, and you got to literally take him out the house and take him either to a cigar bar or take him to go play ball. And there's no places to play ball on a Sunday. They can check his email. He ain't emailing nobody. Facts. Ever since his stuff got stolen, he haven't been emailing nobody. It would have been better if Dottie said that she got a letter. I would have rocked with that. But an email that came out the same day, same time, went to two different destinations, but they a millisecond apart, who do you think you playing with? The BOP don't have Xfinity 1 gigabyte email service. They have the bare minimum, which is basic service. Bare minimum basic service is a 3-minute separation period. So people think when Dana come out and say something, I'm attacking. No, I'm not attacking. I'm telling y'all to stop. Because you know what they're going to say? Robert is obstructing justice. How is Robert obstructing justice? Because he still got people on the internet carrying out things that he told them to do. Can you prove that? Well, look what they doing. They saying Robert wrote him. Then they go into that and they look at that. Oh, but they say Robert doing this. And because they have his name, he gets in trouble for y'all tactics. And I ain't going for it. Coretta said, oh, I know this is the truth because my cousin is in New York. Yep. Facts. Now, here come the truth that nobody want to hear. Here come the truth that nobody wants to hear. Robert is worth more locked up or dead. If something like that will happen, God forbid, and I pray that it never does, his record sales will soar through the roof. Robert comes home, which I know is happening soon. Everybody gets shut down. So at the end of the day, I got a question to ask. When Robert first got locked up in state court and came home, everybody else was talking mad crazy. When Robert came home, it died out. Why was I still on the internet? Talking about Robert and pushing for him to be innocent. And nobody else was. He gets locked up again, fed time. Why am I still on the internet talking about Robert, pushing for his innocence? Now you see everybody being put into position. And it still ain't going to stop me. So I'm going to just tell y'all, use your common sense. That's the last thing that Robert left for us to do. Use your common sense. What up, Jams? Use your common sense. And why they really mad over there is because common sense ain't so common to people that dashed into lies. Make it make sense. They don't want Robert home. I wonder why. Is 12 play fourth quarter Masters that important? That you can go and stunt with stolen material and then take it to other bloggers and show to the world? But I guess you ain't do that neither. These are things that need to be talked about. Now, here's my next question. This is going to shock a lot of people. We're going to go back tomorrow morning to a conversation. I'm going to go back and get some text messages. I'm going to ask a question. And the title of it is going to be this question. Who was the mole? I'm going to have to revisit some people that was talking. Joy haven't heard from him in a month. I know that. But it's not for me to put it out there. As you let Slow Cove tell it, I don't know anything. So I don't know anything. I play dumb. It's not for me to tell everybody. I learned my lesson from discussing things with people. I learned my lesson for wanting people, or from wanting Robert to meet certain people because I thought that they were for Robert. I learned my lesson. So now when I say bare minimum, there's nothing else I need to say other than Joy is holding it down. She's in perfectly good health. She's not a hostage. She's not held under gunpoint and none of that. She's not under no Stockholm syndrome. None of that. But I'm going to let them people run with the fact that, oh, Dana don't know nothing. Dana don't talk to Joy. Dana don't do this. Dana don't do that. Okay, you're right. I don't. I don't do none of that. I don't know Joy. Picture that. But I do have a question for Mr. Tim Savage. So chain of custody won't get broken. What will be your ransom? What will be your ransom to release your audios and videos to Miss Jennifer Bonjean? What will be your asking price to release all of your audios and videos and testify under oath that you didn't destroy anything, whether it's to help R. Kelly or whatever, but all of your audios and videos of all of the alleged victims or whatever you have and to turn over to Miss Jennifer Bonjean. What's your asking price, Tim Savage? No, Joy ain't talked to Essence Magazine. Not at all. Now watch how they try to twist Dana words. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right. Somebody going live. I told y'all he ain't no Joy, and they so stupid they believe in everything he say. So if they so stupid that the Dream Team believe everything I say, then I'm gonna go here. I got some oceanfront property in Idaho that I want to sell everybody for $1. You and Phases was the first people I heard talk about Uncle Kill. Facts. The problem was I'm not easily to be deterred. Phases was. Sorry to see I go, but hey. Nothing more I can say about that. Ben said Sylvia. That's all I'm saying. Choke channel, choke with a cheek. Man, I'm not telling nobody nothing. What's up, Matt Oliver? So I have a question. Oh, man, just 2 motions came out. So I have a question. What is your action price, Tim? Vi said, they crazy. He will have to make another deal with the feds, child. Hey, that's what I want to know. Jim Dariagas. I really want to know why you lie. It's all going to come out now. So now it's starting to make sense. Do anyone know? Did she send that money? Did who send who money? McDavid the mole. He hired Don. Then Don put a team together on the ground. That's one way to look at it, Vi. That makes sense. But Daryl wasn't in with Robert. So why you got the dummies over there talking about some, I am harassing a victim. What victim have I harassed? I stated facts. I stated truth. I don't harass victims. But the only victim in this case, I don't know. Joy don't talk to Sylvia. So I don't know. If she collected some money, that went in Sylvia's pocket. I'm telling you that now. No, but no problem, Israel. You lost 2 of your homies in Rock Hill, South Carolina. That's what's, man, praying for him, bro. No. What Vi just said makes validity to what I'm going to say tomorrow. It brings a lot of validity to what I'm going to say tomorrow. At DJ Do No Joy. Uncle Kel supporters, don't tell him nothing. Don't tell him nothing. As Okov said, I don't know Joy. I don't talk to Joy. So don't say nothing. I'm going along with that little lie. At Joy to Joy only talks to a selective few. Facts. Facts. Oh no, they all need to choke on dog food. Oh Jesus. Sorry for your loss, bro. Yeah, definitely be praying for you, bro. Have you met Rose McGowan before? Name not ringing a bell. Maybe if I see a face, then I know. Say less on here. They thirsty hounds, okay? ATB said, thank you for reading the motion. She as submit. Oh, no problem, ATB. I'm tired of them lying. And DJ, who know you on line at DJ on who you know and don't know. Facts. Facts. I've been said it. Wow, just 16. I'm praying for them, man. Pray for the people in Buffalo. That's fine. I mean, but that's not we. Come on, Miss Lady T. So at the end of the day, she replaced Shannon Dorothy from Charm. Oh no, I don't know. But I'm not even talking about that right now, bro. But that's going to take this discussion somewhere else, and I don't want to do that. I want to keep it right where I'm at. So I'm just saying, people need to really think. Because you look at it, first I'm a mole, then I don't know him. Then I set him up. Then he telling everybody that I set him up. But the person that was there when Robert got booked told y'all that ain't never happened. The only thing Robert said was call my lawyer. So how do you get Dana set me up from call my lawyer? But I'll tell you what I will do. I want to have a controlled interview in front of everybody between me and Sean Harris. No arguing, no yelling, straight talking, straight interview between me and Sean Harris on here in front of the world. And I'm going to say that in the open. I want to have a straight interview between myself and Sean Harris in front of the world. And I want the brotherhood to be front and center for this interview. It's a lot of lies that need to be cleared up. Facts. Facts. Sylvia, thank you. Thank you. No, there's a reason for my madness, Coretta. Big Vaz say they not going to allow that, just like with the twins. Facts. But I'd rather have it. I only have 5 questions. And these 5 questions will put an end to everything that's been accused and said and lied on me about. No drama, no nothing. And I'd rather have the brotherhood front and center. Everybody got my number. Everybody got my email. So if you're willing to take me up on my offer, send me an email. Send me a text. Shoot me a call. We'll set it up. It'll be set up like a versus, but only we just talking. If you want to have a mediator, we can pick mediators. Wow. I'm kind of glad TT don't remember certain shit because he did her wrong. He conned her out of info. Wow. No 100 devices. Never been. I feel you, but here's a real snake. Okay? You said it too many times. You hold a lot of people's truth. Facts, va. Facts. 200. I thank y'all for the likes. Can I get 30 more likes? Can I just add it to it? That's not true, Judah. Her parents did speak out. Wow. Dana, please tell me how many tapes are there supposed to be and why were settlements paid out? Well, need to be, I'm going to tell you this. Settlements were paid out due to Daryl McDavid. We found out earlier that Robert denied paying people. He didn't want to pay nobody. It all came from Daryl. It's supposed to be 3 tapes with an enhancement of 4. That's it. Dana have an attorney on when you talk to him. He isn't truthful. Of course, I'm going to do all of that. I'm going to do all that. I'm sorry about the losses. Lord heals the family of those. Facts. ATB said I did mine. Okay. That's what's up. When real people do things and send it directly where it's supposed to be, I got nothing but big ups. TT gonna bounce back though. Pray because we've been telling her shit too. Oh Lord. Well, she gonna come back crazy. She gonna come back like with a vengeance. 30 more likes, please. You cannot find no fire commentary like this nowhere but here. Come on. Thank you, Carabelle. I don't trust none of them. I don't trust nobody. I don't trust nobody. But at the end of the day, there's only one way to get the truth out there. Just like it was secretly given to the masses, it need to be publicly given back to the masses that I was lied on. Jim called Sparkle, but now the lawyer called Sparkle. But the question, how did they know to call Sparkle? Well, it came out that the lawyer never called Sparkle. Buddy never called Sparkle. Matter of fact, this is what Buddy said. This is what Buddy said. Buddy said he would say that the alleged victim's relatives contacted him about representation and that he was never in possession of the video. Myers' testimony would impeach Stephanie Sparkle Edwards, the alleged victim's aunt. Edwards testified that Myers contacted her. Well, she contacted Edwards. Everything that Sparkle say, it's a reverse contradiction. Facts. Uncle Kel's never asked for nobody to be paid because he didn't do to nobody. Facts. Of course, you already know I am. So why did McDavid pay people, and do they have solid evidence regarding the tapes? I know one was a lie. Well, you know all of them was a lie. Nita B and Daryl McDavid did that. You would have to ask him. I don't know. But just like I said and before, Miss Bonjean put it in the motion that Daryl McDavid was acting under his own pretense. So, yeah. I can't answer that. But what I will answer is this right here. Hold on, give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. I got something to really entice your mind with. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. Hold on. Hold on, I'm looking for one thing. Hold on. Where is it at? Oh, here you go. One thing I will say is this. One thing I will say is this. Somebody in trouble. A judge Thursday said he found sufficient evidence that a former prosecutor may have committed perjury and that other members of state's attorney's Kim Foxx office may have tried to cover for him. Now, make this make sense. Sparkle, Kim Foxx. Sparkle, Kim Foxx. Sparkle, Buddy Myers. Sparkle, and Damon Pryor, and you better be careful what you say to me video. Kim Fox. Next thing I'm going to say is this. The infamous R. Kelly sex tape. Hold on. Move this over a little bit. Move this over a little bit. Move this over a little bit. Right there. Move this up a little bit. Right now. Right there. Here's what I will say. This and this is not the same. This is not Rashonda Landfill. This is not Damon Pryor. But let's spin the block for a body double. This is not R. Kelly. This is not Rashonda Landfair. So why is Rashonda Landfair even in this joint? Make it make sense. This right here, it's not Robert. It's Damon. Make it make sense. And I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt about this even being Robert. Because at the end of the day, the hands don't match the arm. The head got a patch taken out of it. Right here. Y'all better stop playing with me. And before I really go undercover PI on your ass, you better stop playing. Make it make sense. So at the end of the day, I brought y'all static. I brought y'all truth. Oak Cove, it's your turn. On that note, DanaJay out. I thank y'all for joining me. I'll holler at y'all tomorrow morning. Peace.
The boy never let me in, sick with the medicine. On the block distributing right with the medicine. Haters don't like me, heard they wanna fight me. Teflon at your chest, I bet you can't fight these. Mad cause I'm getting dope, Pillsbury ill flow. Niggas love to move snow, you sick of me, don't care though. Yes, I'm a savage, out for the cabbage. Catch the boy armed up, Full Metal Alchemist. Yes, I'm ill, and yeah, I'm so real. Coward ass niggas coming home without an appeal. Damn, how this getting done? Tell me what's the outcome? Anybody wanna see me? Tell them where the fuck I'm from. Patrol homes, red rum. Yeah, we get the job done. Out trying to stack chips, make these haters so sick. If they sick of that, then they really gon' be sick of this. Santa Claus Viper, haters Merry Christmas.
Swimming in you. Hey, little mama said I wanna take her. Dipping your pool. Just go for a little dive, yeah. Hey, yeah, yeah, yeah.